You know, in like elementary school, when you write like, when I grow up, I want to be a, like, I was always an artist. Of course, there's like things that I love doing, like the bike mechanic. I could see myself doing that for the rest of my life. But art is kind of just like breathing, where it's just like something that I have to do. And I can take a break, I could hold my breath like anytime I want, but like eventually you're gonna have to do it again.
She's dealing a lot with like gun violence, like in some kind of connecting that to some feminist issues. She's a very hard worker, like a highly skilled printer, but she's done a lot. She's done all these presentations and research, and she's working with local organizations. So it's more than just her creating these objects, like I said, like making, but she's also engaging with people in the world, which, to my mind, may even be more productive in the long run.
I was showing my work at a conference earlier this year, and so many people were like, "Is that a drawing? Like, how'd you do this? Is it charcoal?" And I was like, "It's a woodcut." They were so surprised, and they were like, "How do you?" So the white parts are what you carve out, and for like printmakers, it's just how your brain works after a while. Murals do like and function the way that I want them to, in the same way that installation functions the way that I want it to. It's like interactive, and it gets the viewer involved in something where like they maybe weren't involved before, like with a frame or something like that. So my installation is about gun violence. Essentially, it's kind of like a activist position on like anti-gun violence, and specifically gun violence in schools. It's a personal subject because I'm from Newtown. It's kind of more of a global perspective of how like, you know, children are being raised within our current like political climate. How like they might not be in any like current danger, you know, but they're still living in this like constant state of fear and constant state of like violence and like trauma. So I ended up with like an installation where at first you look at it and you're not sure exactly what you're seeing. Like maybe you're seeing like a normal classroom, and then you take a different look and you realize like the tiny details. Opening night, I got awesome reactions. I mean, I don't know if I would say awesome. Like I made a few people cry, and I mean, that's good. I'm glad that they're moved. I'm kind of sad that that it like comes to that, but it was kind of my intention to kind of like physically put my viewer into a space where I felt that I was, and kind of like I thought that in order to have other people understand my view, I'd have to like actually put them into it. I was working with a organization called Every Town, and they were there for my support. Like any kind of facts I needed, they were like sending me like spreadsheets of like their facts. But they actually just emailed me and they said like, "We saw your article and we saw your installation, and we were in awe. Like, what are you doing next?" So that's really exciting, and that's definitely something that I never would have expected. So the smiley face murals are kind of like a feminist look on social media. The idea that like it's kind of like voyeuristic, you know, like looking at someone else's like social media page, Instagram page, and kind of like judging them. And it's kind of like a reclamation of like female power on social media. It's a really interesting conversation about social media. It's kind of all around you and it's suffocating you, and then it becomes you in a way. I wanted the general mood to be like lonely and like isolated and kind of like indifferent at the very least, and then like have all these like kind of ironic like smiley faces showing she's not actually happy, you know. And like I just think it's kind of wild that women get judged for literally whatever they do. So I have an internship at ZMA's print shop in Northampton, and they're environmentally friendly, and that goes on for about a year. So during that time, I'm going to be making prints to apply to grad school, and then focusing on printmaking in grad school. So I'm not sure if it's like exactly what I want to do, but like again, like the fact that I can be so like lenient with it and like do whatever I want with the medium, I think that it's something that I'll continue for forever.
I'm just very thankful to have met her and to have played some small part in her development, because I have no doubt that she's going to go on to do great things.